Breaking news tonight from the House of Representatives. The House voted 245 to 182 in favor of a resolution blocking the president's national security emergency declaration at the southern border. 13 Republicans joined 232 Democrats voting to pass the resolution. It now heads to the Senate, where the Democrats need 4 Republicans to vote for the resolution to pass it. They already have 3: Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and Thom Tillis. Republican Senator Roger Wicker said earlier this month that he would likely vote for a resolution to block a national emergency, and told reporters today that he would, quote, be making a statement in a few days. Politico reports as many as 10 Senate Republicans could support a resolution of disapproval if a vote were held today, according to 4 GOP senators familiar with the discussions. Republican leadership has done little to whip votes against it. Today, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell wouldn't make a prediction on whether or not the resolution will pass, and refused to even say whether or not he thinks the Trump national emergency declaration is even legal.
Do you personally believe that the president's emergency declaration is legal?
Well, that's part of what we were discussing today.
What do you think?
Well, we're in the process of weighing that. The lawyer was there to make his arguments. There were some counter arguments. I haven't reach a total conclusion about,
And joining us now is the member of Congress who wrote that resolution against President Trump's national emergency in the House, Representative Joaquin Castro, Democratic congressman from Texas. He's also a member of the Intelligence Committee who will be questioning Michael Cohen later this week. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us on this important night. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Lawrence.
How did it fall to you to write this resolution? How were you the lucky one?
Well, about 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago, when the rumors started that the president might declare a national emergency to pay for his border wall, my staff and I reached out to the Legislative Council to try to figure out a way to give Congress the final say on this issue. And what we came up with is H.J. Res. 46, which is a privileged resolution, which means the House votes and the Senate has to vote on this resolution to terminate President Trump's national emergency. And Lawrence, I believe you worked in the Senate, so you know that this vote is extremely consequential in terms of the separation of powers and the balance of power between the president and the Congress. And as I said today in my remarks, if the Congress allows this to stand, then I believe the president, President Trump, will come back for more, perhaps on the border issue, but possibly on other issues. And future presidents, Republicans and Democrats, will circumvent Congress in the same way.
I just made the point that the reports are that the Republicans are not whipping the vote, as the phrase goes, in the United States Senate. But how could they, when we just saw Republican leader Mitch McConnell not even able to answer the question whether he thinks that the emergency is legal?
Yeah, that's amazing. I had not heard that clip. But that's amazing that the Senate Majority Leader would stand behind an emergency declaration when he can't even look the American people in the eye and say that he believes this is a legal declaration. I just find that incredible. And as I said, also, how am I supposed to tell a future president that the thousands of gun deaths and the thousands of opioid deaths and the threat of climate change, that these aren't national emergencies in 2 years or 4 years or whenever you may have a president that wants to declare a national emergency for those things?
You're the only member of Congress we have in this hour, so I've got to ask you about this breaking news story about Congressman Gaetz tweeting what clearly appears to be a threat to Michael Cohen about his testimony tomorrow. One of your Democratic colleagues, Congressman Bill Pascrell of New Jersey, tweeted a response to that, saying that this appears to him to be grossly unethical and probably illegal. He says the House ethics must investigate this disgrace and stain on our institution. Do you believe that at minimum the House Ethics Committee has to investigate this?
Yeah, I do think they have to take a look at it. I think Matt Gaetz is mostly immature, unfortunately. But yes, I think they should take a look at it. It's almost an attempt at witness tampering.
And what do you expect from tomorrow's hearing, the public hearing with Michael Cohen, and then the closed-door hearing that you and the Intelligence Committee will have?
Well, you know, he was obviously with the Senate for hours, and I suspect that the public hearing tomorrow and our hearing on the Intel Committee will go the same way. What I want to know most of all is whether President Trump directly asked him to lie to Congress regarding the Stormy Daniels payments or any other issues. And also, Michael Cohen was not just the president's lawyer. Remember, this was basically one of his buddies. This was a confidant for him. So I think he's got something to tell us on each of these lines of inquiry, obviously on the payments, but also on perhaps obstruction of justice issues, on money laundering issues. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. The first interview, I co-led that for Democrats with Adam Schiff, who's now our chairman. And so there's gaps of information that we're going to try to figure out in our interview on Thursday.
Congressman Joaquin Castro, the big winner in the House of Representatives today on that vote. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.